right, welcome everybody. So glad to have you here, right here on AM 790 WNIS, to join us on this Ask the Expert show with Michael Brown and his creative real estate solutions team. My friends, phone your friends. Let somebody know you're listening. And when it comes to real estate, now is the time to take some notes and make sure you call Michael Brown to find out what solutions are available to you when they need to be available, because there are different solutions to your real estate problems, my friends. And here to talk to us about it, Mr. Michael Brown with his creative real estate solutions team. I'll give you the phone number and the website in just a minute. You can get a free copy of Michael Brown's book as well. Michael, so glad to have you here on Ask the Expert.
Damien, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be here. And hello, Hampton Roads. Everybody's out there staying healthy, getting wealthy, and just, loving on your neighbor. So I'm always excited to come and hang out with Damien for an hour. And for those who don't know me out there, if you've never heard my show, I'm a real estate investor and advisor, and I take great pleasure in answering your questions. There's a lot of creative solutions to problems that you may not get the same answer. You may not be able to ask a question to someone wearing different hats. I've worn all the hats. I've got partners who wear all the different real estate hats. So I give a unique perspective. I've kind of been through the good, the bad, and the ugly, as they say, over the last 21 plus years. And as a real estate investor, and then prior to that, being in the mortgage business and owning a real estate brokerage. But I'm here to serve Hampton Roads needs. If you're a seller with a situation, if you're an unhappy landlord, if you're a buyer with credit issues, if you're a new investor looking to earn while you learn, or if you're an accredited investor looking for passive income, if you're the accredited investor and you want to make that Wall Street rate of return without the Wall Street risk, we definitely need to talk. And on the air tonight, feel free to call in at 627-7979. That's 627-7979. Don't be shy. Call, ask your question. There might be someone else out there who needs to hear that answer. Or off the air, you can call me direct at 438-3838. That's 438-3838. If I don't pick up, you'll get my answering service. They'll ask you what kind of call you're on. They'll screen the call, and I'll get back to you. If not tomorrow, Monday, or whatever the next day might be. So give us a call. And Damien, like I said, it's great to be here, and always a pleasure to talk to our Hampton Roads community.
Yeah, always fun. And Michael, I'd like to ask you towards the beginning of the show, what's the state of the union? Because I know you have a unique perspective and a unique set of goggles when it comes to looking at the state of the real estate climate here in Hampton Roads. Tell me about it.
As you know, the market, it's been like a rocket ship, and prices go up when you don't have supply and you have demand. So let's talk about the supply side. Well, right now, landlords it's a hard time to get people out, because of the state of the COVID situation, which has been around and may be around. It may be like this for a while, but hopefully, the doctors or what's that, herd immunity will eventually take
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
Yes, we need something. I don't know. I tell people, don't be afraid. Be careful. If you're afraid, you're stressed out, your immune system's lower, you might get sick, And if you get sick, I don't want to go off on that COVID tangent, but, most people don't die from this. Most people get it and don't get symptoms. But if you're stressed out and you get it, it might be worse.
It's not helping you.
No, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. Thank you. And But let's go back to the supply. The supply issue is that there's no foreclosures. The federal government hasn't allowed foreclosures yet. That's coming any day now. There's some foreclosures on non-government-backed loans. Then you don't have the landlords aren't able to get rid of their properties because they're trying to get rid of tenants. And no one wants to buy a rental property of someone who's not paying. So those are two sources of properties. And then, yes, you have sellers, but then you don't have all the sellers. I'll give you an example. My parents are in their 80s. They're like, well, we're going to wait it out a little bit. We're vaccinated, but we're still not sure because there's always a new variant every other week. So those folks are standing by, like, waiting it out. So they're not in a hurry. So there's maybe 3 out of 4 sources of your properties. Now, other people are selling. If you move, you got to sell, right? So supply. So we don't have a lot of supply. That's the supply side. The demand side, buyers. Well, there's something called FOMO, fear of missing out. Damien's house just went up X number of thousand. Mary, we better go buy right away because we're going to miss out. So people panic buy. They want to get in before it's too late. But when everybody's scrambling to buy, that's when I'm selling. I'm an investor. I'm just selling off properties. I think in the last almost 2 years, I finally bought something else because it was just a great deal. It was a landlord who finally got a tenant out. He was over it. I'm like, so I only buy when I have a motivated seller. That's how you invest. We'll talk about investing in more detail in one of the other segments. But So you have everybody wants to buy. They're afraid of missing out on all this equity increase, number one. They're afraid of missing out on the low interest rates. Well, so, and the other factor, think about it, because of COVID, people are not traveling like they normally would. So the last few summers here, people aren't taking the big vacations for the most part, probably 99% of the people. So if you're buying a house, typically you spend a little time saving up your go from an apartment to house, you need more money for furniture. So everyone has a down payment, or people have their down payment sooner. And people are buying houses right now that, they're home inspection ready. I'm a real estate investor. If I buy something, I'm going to, for lack of a better word, I'm going to put the bling on it. I'm going to shine it up. It's going to be HGTV ready, because I don't want anybody to not like the house. I'm going to be guaranteed somebody's going to fall in love because it looks like exactly what they saw on TV. The latest halogen lights and a new roof, new air conditioning, new kitchens, new bathrooms, new this, new that, gray and white. That seems to be the latest trend in color scheme. So, but houses, I see houses selling, and I had a house I sold. It had cherry cabinets, and cherry is not in fashion right now. It's just that cycle is like bell bottoms. They've come and gone. Houses, they've got the fashion cycle on real estate now for interior decorating. And I guess if you've the TV show HGTV, it's 24 hours a day. They've got to fill it up with content. But just the market is very unique right now. I'm telling people sell, sell, sell. If I was that Jim Cramer guy, I hit the sell button, sell at the top, buy at the bottom, and I don't think, Damien, that we're going to have the type of situation we had in 2008. What happened back then was there was a lot of bad loans put on the street. That's not the case now. People are getting loans. They're qualified buyers, It's not these crazy adjustable rate loans or balloon payments. That's not the situation. It's just supply and demand. So when the government finally says we better let foreclosures happen, then I think we're going to see this thing level off, maybe flatten out. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a dip on some of the less expensive properties because the landlords might be able to, they might want to never own property again, and they might want to dump their properties. And we're going to talk about why you should invest in real estate, why everyone should invest in real estate, which is a perfect segue. If you want to get a copy of my free book, There's Never Been a King Without Land. There's Never Been a King Without Land. The subtitle is Why Everyone Must Invest in Main Street. Stock market's great if you like betting on racehorses, but I don't like buying something that I have to pay full price for with plus a fee. When I buy real estate, I buy at a deep discount, I fix it up at a discount, and I have instant equity. I always use the example that if I can buy something, and these are just general numbers, if I can buy something for 50 and put 10,000 in it, and now it's worth 90 to 100, that's a pretty good deal. And that's basically what I do. The numbers vary a little bit there, but I buy entry-level houses. And I have instant equity, and I have immediate cash flow. And you can't even build those entry-level houses anymore. So it's hard for them to go down in value because the dirt costs so much. And if you've, in the listening audience, notice all the construction you see. It's always at least 2,000 square feet and more. In Virginia Beach, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 houses, or lucky if you find a townhome for $400,000 or $500,000, luxury townhome. Everything has got to be high end, and then you see Norfolk and Portsmouth and Hampton, and you see some infill houses. And I remember when they were $225, now they're pushing $300 because the dirt costs so much, but the construction materials, roof shingles and 2x4s, everything has gone up, and it may not come back down. Gas prices are up. Well, all the money that's been printed is going to cause inflation. Inflation is the hidden tax. Don't tell everybody. It's a tax. If inflation's X percent and your income doesn't go up by X percent, your dollars they don't go as far. And that's why the middle class has been getting beat up for tens and decade after decade after decade. It's not the 50s anymore. Ice cream cones don't cost a nickel. When I was a kid 50-some years ago, gasoline was 55 cents a gallon. I'll never forget that when I bought a gallon of gas to ride my buddy's mini bike. I got 2 seconds because I almost flipped it, but I paid for the gas. So I didn't get a refund. No rebate on that deal. But the market, that's how it is. Most of my friends and the experts around, we all figure this is going to level off. But it depends on Uncle Sam says, or whoever's running the show right now says that, well, I guess we should let the foreclosure start, when the courts loosen up. And the whole no eviction thing, and, landlords can get relief from the state. The programs come and go. It takes months to get your money. And a funny thing, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Scott. You've had Scott on the air before. And Scott made a point. He said, if if I go to court, Damien, you're my tenant, and I get a judgment, and the state's going to help me out, they should have like a little table signed up. I just bring my judgment for the 3 months rent and just cut me my check now. Yeah. Why do I have to file to get my money from somebody's in my house? I'm just a little guy. Most landlords have 1 or 2 rental properties. It's not, the companies with all these apartment complexes. The average person's got a few income properties to subsidize their retirement. But we'll talk about in the next segment, we'll talk about why you should invest and how to invest. And we'll talk a little bit about the book.
Yeah, and there's so many questions. I know people listening have questions too. And to find out more, there's a couple ways to do that. You can either join us here at 627-7979. Don't be shy, my friends. And if you are shy, you can call Michael Brown directly. He'll give you the piece of advice, the free-to-peek information that you need to know, and set up a free consultation with you to go further if need be. Call Michael Brown directly at 438-3838. That's 438-3838. Or online at unitedfundingcorp.com. That's unitedfundingcorp.com. And you can also get a free copy of his book, There's Never Been a King Without Land. There's Never Been a King Without Land. Check it out and stay with us, my friends. We're going to be here till the end of this hour with Michael Brown on AM 790 WNIS, talking about his creative real estate solutions team. Get your questions in now and find out more. Again, call him directly, 438-3838. You're here with Michael Brown and United Funding Corp.